Councillor James, and I'll just put that question to you because you are in government at the moment, and it's one of the arguments put forward by council for its in-principle support of the new Smithfield Town Centre is that it will cater for the ongoing growth of the beaches region and further afield, and it's those two words, further afield, that seem to pop up. If the existing Smithfield Shopping Centre can cater adequately to tableland shoppers, what is classified as further afield? I mean, are we looking at development north of Buchan's Point, north of Ellis Beach?
I can say that everyone's making this, the council
of the city, by all means get some money from that developer and get some money from council and get some money from the existing shopping centre and get an independent person to come in and do a proper consultation process. Because I would suggest that if you really did it, you might just discover that light industrial was something that people might want up that area, so everyone doesn't have to go on the highway and drive across to the other side of Cainrs every time they want something. This has been a fast-track, developer-led approach to planning, which the council has tried to bulldoze through in a very quick time. The council is actually doing a reasonable job of planning than the southern suburbs in the Mount Peter area. Over several years this has actually taken place, not this one. So it's been problematic right from the beginning, Pat, and this whole thing about it not being another shopping centre. At the inquiry by design workshop, to which no community members were invited, there were government people there and there weren't any retailers there, the opening statement was that we're going to, part of this is going to be build another big shopping centre. So that's always been part of it. It was never about what's the need up here at all. It's very poor planning.
I'd like to say that the process is exactly the same as what is happening in Edmonton. It is absolutely nothing.
Would you keep the microphone, Councillor Terry James, because we're now moving on to questions from the floor, and I'll ask you for a brief...
A policy for greywater reuse, that is there now, and we do have a rainwater policy now. Now, in terms of water storage, we do need another water storage for our future, and we do have the capacity to treat, but we don't have the capacity to store the water, so we will run out like everyone else down the track.
The next question is from Lee, and it's directed to Val Shear. Considering the large Indigenous population in our region, what are the pathways for various Indigenous groups to be involved in your ecological sustainable vision plans or ecologically sustainable vision plans for FNQ?
That's a good question, because I do know that many Indigenous people feel alienated from this current council. They started off by abolishing the Indigenous Reference Group as one of their first acts, and that sent a very clear message that we actually don't want to listen to you and we don't value your advice. So we would be really looking at working with different groups. There are enormous opportunities for Indigenous people. I start off by thinking about the Mossman Gorge area, which will now be part of the Greater Regional Council, where the Douglas Shire Council has been working very closely with Indigenous people there about maximising economic opportunities, preserving that area, enhancing it, and ensuring that that lots of people can enjoy it, but there's also economic gain and training and jobs for Aboriginal people. I would see doing things like that similarly with other Indigenous groups in Cairns. The next area the whole time, like build another dam, that we need to be looking at how we can reduce that. There are a whole lot of things. We've got crumbling infrastructure in the city and we've got pipes that are leaking. So there's a whole lot of ways there. We can actually start fixing up our pipes. We can provide incentives for sort of reduced flow shower heads and dual flush toilets. But we also need to look at how much water the tourists use as well. Because half tourists in this town actually use double the amount of water that individuals use. So I think we need to start challenging that and not going into hotels and finding these amazing shower heads there that distribute some huge amounts of water sort of per second. So I guess lots of practical strategies and public education and awareness as well.
Thank you. All right. No, it's okay. Solomon, if you'd like to add something. Solomon Johnson.
Yeah, Pat, it's it's quite a well-established fact that Queensland only harvests less than 6% of the water that falls. So we've got 94% of the water which actually runs out of the Gulf of Carpenters area and into the coalition. I mean, all we've got to do really is start.
A survey which said that most people are prepared to pay up to 5%, I'll get my amount right this time, so on a $300,000 house that people will be prepared to pay extra sort of $15,000 to ensure that they can actually have energy efficient and water conservation and various sort of methods.
You might see yourself on the question, it's probably important, but we have asked each of the candidates about hillslope development. We'll come back to that one in time permits, but Mark asked Secretary James, in November, Council voted to reduce the width of riparian corridors in urban areas. Now, these areas are not within the scope of the Vegetation Management Act. Why, in the face of the need to preserve biodiversity, are we reducing the widths of riparian corridors?
You're aware of the width that's been reduced, Mark? It might have been one particular application that you...
The code was changed. On that application, it was later before council, sorry, and it was moved from a 50 metres to 20 metres because you were taking up usable paintbrush. That's what you're referring to on the 6th of November. This was to do. Let's move on.
I think we can actually get a hold. I was at that meeting as well, and so we can clear this up perhaps by sending an email around to people and showing exactly what did happen at that meeting. A lot of people are very worried about it.
I think we'll move now down to Peter Sandercock because this question is not directed at any specific... the question is from Jenny. How will you balance the need for housing, population growth, and green sustainability and the natural beauty of Cairns and North Queensland town settings?
It was done via the Cairns scheme and Cairns Plan, and I think the community will grab a hold of that document and have a read of it. A good read of it is an extensive document and it goes right into how you aim to achieve those.
Belgium?
This was the element that I said was the greatest challenge, and it is in the Douglas Shire and it is down here as well, because we are having